Years ago, my mother was admitted to the St. Charles Medical Center in Bend. She had had a reoccurrence of polio, which affected her ability to swallow. And this led to a serious diminishment of her ability to take in fluids and other life-sustaining sustenance. It ended up that my father and I and the bishop were in the room with her trying to decide whether or not to utilize the form we are today debating. I will suggest to you that this will focus your attention on the words in this form more than any other event I can possibly imagine. As it turned out, we elected not to withdraw life-sustaining procedures, and my mother lived another 3 years. I would not suggest that her life was perfect. It was pretty awful. She ended up passing away 3 years later on at least 3 different systems of artificial life support. I've been a lawyer now 40 years. This is my 41st year. I have no idea of how many of these forms I have assisted people in filling out. I would suggest that the remarks made by the senator from the home of Crater Lake are excellent, as are the remarks and explanation by the carrier of the bill, the senator from Lane and Douglas counties, and I appreciate greatly his amazing work on this. The truth of the matter is, though, when I sit down with people in my law office and begin to go through this form, they have no idea what it means. We spend literally hours trying to explain to them the meaning of this form. Some of the suggested language that, had we had the time to get into the minority report, is extremely clear. The language, for example, says that we would have suggested, had we had time, initial the form in a particular place saying the principal did not want the healthcare representative making decisions about withholding and withdrawing a life-sustaining procedure, or likewise language that spells out the opposite, that the principal, by initialing a particular place, did want the representative to have the power to withdraw life-sustaining procedures. Having lived this with my mother, I would suggest this language would dramatically improve this bill. This is not to say that what has been done is inadequate. It is a step in the correct direction. This forum needs help. But when we are dealing with issues on the edge of life, probably one of the most important decisions any of us will ever make when we're placed in that position, as I have been, I would suggest you want the greatest and the most clear direction imaginable. I just want to say, you want to know that you're making the right decision, that you've been told to do it, because otherwise you will not. You will not. And so with that, Mr. President, I recommend a no vote.
Further discussion?